Well, hello everybody. Got a good sunny Saturday afternoon today. Finally, we have a day with no wind. I'm not sure what's been going on this spring, but we have had it seems like 5-6 days a week we're getting just terrible wind. So I haven't done any shooting videos for quite a while just because it's hard to do shooting videos outside with that screaming wind, howling wind blowing at you. So got a good day today, so we're gonna do some shooting. I'll show you what I'm up to today. So 223s, I'm just doing some load testing. What the bullet I'm shooting today, I believe it is a Midway Dogtown bullet. Pretty generic, just a pointed soft point. Bought these bullets several years ago. I think me and my stepdad went in on some big bulk. I think we bought 2,000 of these. I don't remember exactly what it is. I haven't shot these for quite a while. I went to a nozzler ballistic tip. I bought a big bulk of them about 10 years ago. I think we bought 2,000 of them. And the beauty of those, from my experience, is they'll shoot good in a number of different guns. We have several 223s, ARs, a couple different bullets, and those ballistic tips shoot really well in all of them. Today's world, those nozzle ballistic tips, the price has just soared through the roof. So I got digging around, I found these, and I ended up, and I don't know if all reloaders are this way, but for me it seems like I'll go through an experiment with powders, find one I end up liking, then I'll have different powders with really no purpose. So in today's world with powder, I started looking, I had a can of H335, CFE 223, BLC2, all great 223 powders, but I've settled in on Benchmark. I truly love the Benchmark powder, but I've got 3 or 4 pounds of powder that's just kind of sitting around. I thought, well, today will be a good time to use some of these more generic type bullets, and the powder I'm using today is CFE 223. Designed for 223. I'll tell you, if you guys watching this have not had experience with 223 reloading, it is a wonderful cartridge for reloading. Everything I've tried in 223 works. Some things I like better than others, but does it truly work? Yeah. It does. I've tried multiple different bullets, multiple different powders, and everything I've done works one degree or another. For whatever reason, the Benchmark flows so good in my Dillon machine, reloading machine. It's one I've just settled on. I use it for several different things. Benchmark is pretty versatile with 308s, 3030s, 223s. I'm using Benchmark in my 4570 load right now, so I truly love Benchmark. Haven't seen it on the shelf in I don't know how long, 2 years maybe. So anyway, got a lot of these bulk bullets. I've been buying some Hornady FMJs that are in a bulk package. One of our local shops here, they must buy them in a barrel, and they vacuum pack them in 500 round packs, and very reasonable price. So I've been going with those. When I first started using the nozzler ballistic tips, we was doing a lot of coyote hunting, and I wanted a premium bullet for hunting coyotes. I still believe in that. I still have a bunch of those loaded. So, but 90% of our 223s are getting shot at prairie dogs and rabbits. You don't need a premium bullet for that. So anyway, we'll do some testing today. I'll show you the rifles I'm shooting today. This is just a DPMS AR-15, just a real entry level. I call it the bottom of the barrel. I had one guy correct me and say DPMS doesn't make bottom of the barrel. I'll tell you, in the AR-15 world today, boy, we're living in the golden age of guns. I'm not sure you can buy a bad AR-15. This guy shoots real good. It's not a target rifle. This gun will shoot 1.5 inch, 3-shot groups every day of the week with just about any bullet I shoot. The nozzle ballistic tips, I'll get a little better than that, maybe a solid 1-inch group all the time, but still, for what this gun is, plenty accurate. The other gun I'm shooting today is a Weatherby Vanguard. Of course, anybody that knows about Weatherby Vanguards, they are a Howe of 1500. They're the same rifle. Weatherby was just looking for more of an entry level versus their Mark V actions, and they got a winner with this one. I've had this gun probably close to 15 years. This gun is a phenomenal bolt action rifle. I used to shoot 40 grain bullets in it. This gun loves the 40 grain bullets. We figured out 40 grainers and 223s are great if there's no wind. in our country, we don't have very many of those days. So I went to a 55 grain bullet, bucks the wind just a little bit better, but I'll tell you, this gun will shoot just about everything that I put in it. Really, really, really love this gun. Weatherby Vanguard. So, alrighty, we'll get some targets set up and do some shooting. Alrighty, so I'm getting ready to shoot. I'm only shooting about 70 yards today. I can go down by the big tree down in my pasture and get 100 yards of my range at home, but I got cattle in that pasture right now, and I don't want to monkey around with trying to figure out where they're at and shooting and stuff. So I think what today, if the point of impact is right and the grouping is right, I'm going to say this is good to shoot just to go ahead and load in a bulk type setting. You know, I've got 1,000 bullets and whatever of that. So anyway, 70 yards is not my preferred. I try to go to 100 all the time, but today we'll just do 70. See what we got. Alright guys, I'm going to try out shooting this Weatherby Vanguard. I was going to tell you about the scope on it. It's a Burris full field 6-20. Not an expensive scope, not a real high dollar deal. I like the magnification on it. I mean, I love Burris. That's a great brand to go with. But it's been great for this application. I mean, it's not an old 1,000-yard scope or anything, but I think for shooting prairie dogs, stuff like that, this is a pretty good setup. Well, you can see through the scope pretty good on what I got going. I'm gonna walk up there and just double check it. I think it's actually grouping real good. I got a funny story to tell you about this YouTube deal. So if you guys seen some of my 4570 videos, I had a comment that said, watching the cowboy shoot a 4570 off a lead Z was like watching somebody ride a Harley into Sturgis with training wheels. Poking a lot of fun at me for that. So, you know, of course I had some fun back with him, but you know, I'm shooting off lead set. It's not for recoil, it's just for steady hold for, I mean, I'm just mechanically testing the loads. So anyway, that was quite a funny story, but we'll see what we got up here. So through that 20 power scope, I could see these are my first two shots basically touching each other. I might have pulled that one just a little bit. I'm going to shoot another group, but it's shooting a little bit left. That's a little concerning. So I'm going to shoot one more group. That's barely over an inch, so not terrible, but I mean, if that one would have been over anywhere close to that, that'd have been a great group. These were the first two shots. So I'm going to shoot another group with it and see. I think I pulled that third shot. But if that's truly the case, I need to check the zero on that gun, because if it's an inch to the left, you know, that's not acceptable. I need to adjust that. Alrighty, we're gonna try 3 more shots. Well, we're gonna walk up and have a look. I can see through the scope. I don't think it's a great group, but I'm not exactly sure. We'll walk up there and have a look. Well, I'm not having really a great day shooting groups for some reason. That was the first shot. The second one, not bad, less than an inch apart, right on the point of zero. And this guy's clear up here. I'm not sure what's happening with that. So I might shoot a group with the AR and see where they're at. I mean, just for having bulk ammo. I I mean, I got, you know, 3 shots there within an inch. Pretty good point of impact. I'm not sure what happened on these two. Stone cold barrel maybe. But I'm gonna shoot a group with the AR and see where it's at, and then maybe we'll come back to this one. Alrighty, we're gonna take a few shots with the AR. So this guy's wearing a Vortex Crossfire 2. This is a 4-16. There again, this is a pretty entry-level guy for scope. And what I've learned with this is I don't like it at 14. It shoots a lot better, at 16. I like it more like that 14 range. It just seems like it's a little bit blurry at that top end, but shoot, it's a $150 scope. So I may invest in a bigger scope or a nicer scope one of these days, but not for now. This is just kind of my kick around AR. This seems to hold zero good. We'll see what it does today. But just got this big mag in there. I'm only loading 3 rounds in it. When I'm doing stuff like this, I try to think about safety. If I had loaded more than 3 rounds in between groups, I'd be walking in front of the muzzle with a loaded round in there, and I don't want to mess with that. So I'm just going to load 3 rounds every time we shoot. So we'll see what it does. Alrighty, we'll walk up there and see. I think that's a pretty dang good group. Hope you guys see that, but I got the bolt held open on that just for safety. Bolt's open, gun's empty, so we'll walk up there and have a look. Well, shoot, that AR loves that one. So that's my first shot, second, third. That is well under an inch. That's probably, should have brought my tape measure. I always say the end of my finger to that crease is about an inch. So that's, shoot, that's well under an inch at 70 yards. Pretty much dead on point of impact. I would say that would be a load just to run with. Well, that's pretty unusual. That AR shot those bolt bullets better than the Weatherby. I'm gonna give that Weatherby another go. I don't think I give it a fair shake. I don't know why. I'm kind of off with the Weatherby, but I mean, I'm plumb tickled with that AR performance of that load. Yeah, well, I think I better shoot that Weatherby again. It's really interesting because the 2 triggers on the guns are completely different. That AR's got a Rock River 2-stage match trigger in it, which is a great trigger for an AR. That Weatherby has got a really, really great trigger. Super light, super short. So to shoot them is quite a bit different, but yeah, I'm gonna get that Weatherby back out and see what it'll do. All right, here we go. We'll give the Weatherby a try. Hopefully I can redeem myself. I pulled that third shot horribly. I'm going to shoot one more, see what it does. I can see the first 2 shots were good, but I pulled that third one bad. Well, we'll go have a look. All right, guys, well, that load and that Weatherby just don't get along that good. So this was my first shot, second, third, fourth. These 3 were the AR group. Whoops. These 3 were the AR group. That, I mean, point of impact's just fine, but as good as that AR shoots them, I'm not sure I want to monkey around with it. We'll just put those in a pile and use them in the AR. So that was interesting. That's one of the first times I've ever had that, probably the only time, the AR outperformed the Weatherby. But you know, you guys watching this stuff, and I know with my experience, you know, I've been monkeying around this kind of thing for a few decades now. There's just some guns and some bullets that just do not work well together. This Weatherby will shoot everything I put into it acceptable. So that's a 4-shot group, just over an inch at 70 yards. So that's a 4-shot group, an inch and a half at 70. Some people might say that's perfectly acceptable. I'm gonna say that's on the poor end. I've had these guns perform so much better. I just know that this bullet and this this Weatherby, just not a good combination. This Weatherby will shoot those nozzler ballistic tips phenomenal. So, you know, and honestly, 90% of the 223 stuff I shoot is with the ARs anyway. So I'm gonna shoot one more group with the AR, and if it's acceptable, I'm gonna call this load acceptable. There again, even with the Weatherby, it's not like it's a mile off, but just kind of make a note and just say, you know, use those loads in the AR. So we'll give one more shot with the AR and see how it does. All right, so I got 3 loaded in the AR. We'll try one more group with it. Well, I did it again. I had 2 really good shots and then pulled the 3rd one. I'm gonna shoot one more just to see. Well, I can't tell for sure. We'll walk up there. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm glad I shot that 4th shot. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm having one of those days. I'm just having a hard time pulling off a good group, but I'll show you what I got on this one. It's not bad. All righty, you guys. This is what I got. You see that hole right there? There's 2 holes in that. So that was the first one. The second one, I pulled this guy. That was the loose nut behind the trigger. I shot that 4th shot. That was that one there. Hope you guys can see it, but that is truly two shots touching each other. So if we throw that guy out, just because I was having a bad deal, that's a heck of a group right there. Point of impact's pretty dang close. I think I'm just gonna run with that load. There's no reason to monkey with it. I mean, shoot, it's less than, you know, center of the group is less than ½ inch to the right. Just plinking around shooting prairie dogs and such, I think we'll call that good.